Ladies and gentlemen, a really amusing turn of events has taken place. Now, they tried to link Trump to Russian Facebook ads and the DNC emails and working with Russia, and they actually fabricated that investigation. They used a Steele dossier purchased by Clinton. They were guilty of everything they accused Trump of doing, which is normally the case with Democrats. And they're the ones who worked with foreign sources. The Steele dossier was compiled with help from Russian individuals, including an active Russian intelligence officer, but they had no problem using the Steele dossier. Yeah, that dossier compiled with the people Trump was accused of working with. Isn't that interesting? Didn't work out. The Mueller probe was based on nonsense. Robert Mueller didn't even know who Fusion GPS and Glenn Simpson were. James Comey says he didn't know the Steele dossier was purchased by Clinton. They set up and framed President Trump. We now have John Durham on the case, and he has a criminal investigation of Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, all of them. Second quarter fundraising, Trump's still winning the money race. Axios. One reason I know that Clinton is going to run, and she'll eventually be easily the Democratic nominee, is not only because both Bill and Hillary essentially own the Democratic Party, but nobody can come close to matching President Trump in terms of fundraising. He will easily surpass anyone from Biden to the rest of the people on that debate stage. They will not have a chance to defeat Trump. They won't even have a chance to be competitive. And that's just the basic bottom line. They will not have a chance to be competitive. Now you had Willie Brown, the former San Francisco mayor, and Steve Bannon agree on one thing. And Steve Bannon, like I've been saying since 2017, has come around and said, oh yeah, I can imagine Clinton running. I wrote in the Huffington Post, Clinton's going to run. There's going to be 8 years of Trump. That's in 2017. That will happen. But ladies and gentlemen, the fundraising, Juan Williams has an article on the Hill. Democrats finally hit Trump where it hurts. And the article is about, Trump's fundraising. The debacle from Joaquin Castro, that actually completely and utterly backfired. Then there was the issue with Equinox and SoulCycle. If you look, people at Berkeley, the center of the liberal progressive universe, Berkeley residents don't seem willing to give up their gym memberships at Equinox SoulCycle. Okay? I can tell you that people in West Hollywood, people throughout the country, if you care about your physique at Berkeley, if you care about your physique, you're not going to give up the gym just to spite Trump. So it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Okay, so it's hilarious because every time separately, billionaire Steve Ross saw a rush for the exits. No, he didn't. If anything, President Trump benefited from the uproar, and Trump raised more money at the Hamptons fundraiser recently, $2 million more than he expected. But this is an Axios. Trump's still winning the money race. So, President Trump has more money than anyone in the Democratic primary. More than Sanders, Buttigieg, Biden, Elizabeth Warren. Okay? Now, at this point, in 2015, Clinton had around, this is in July, so she had about 40-something. But President Trump has 26 million. He's beating his estimates of, what he raised at this point in 2015. They have to outspend him 2-1. And Juan Williams wrote an article, and I like Juan Williams on Fox, even though I disagree with him on everything. But he's a pretty powerful force on Fox News, where it's, the very... what's the show? I love that show that he's on. But I feel he's wrong on everything, but he definitely takes on, the 4 or 5 people there. And I love that show. I always watch it. But He's wrong when he says, oh, well, they're hitting him on the donors. I'm not even going to get into right now the pay-to-play schemes from Uranium One executives. Uranium One executives who were linked directly to the Russian government because the Russians now own 20% of U.S. uranium capacity because of the Obama administration. But you had cash flow to the Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. These are the Clinton Foundation donors. 85 donors gave $156 million. And then she uses all the networking, Clinton and her husband, Bubba Bill, to then raise money for their inevitable campaigns, or Hillary's campaign. She's running again. She has an Onward Together foundation. But there's no point in the Clinton Foundation was an obvious pay-to-play scheme. You don't have 85 donors giving $156 million. And the rebuttal from Vox was, well, she met with more people. How is that a rebuttal? How on earth is that a counter-argument to 85 donors giving $156 million, some people giving well over $1 million each, to meet with Clinton? And they met with Clinton. The money was access. But he's trying to say in this article, Juan Williams says, oh, well, you know what? They're hitting Trump where it hurts, his donors. You can try and boycott. That doesn't work anymore. They're trying to get Tucker Carlson off Fox. He's not leaving. They tried to mess with the SoulCycle CEO and Equinox. It's not going to. People aren't going to give up their lives, what they enjoy in life, just to spite Trump. They're just not going to. And he has the most negative press of any president. I mean, it's nonstop. And he's still outraised everyone on the Democratic side. Now, if he doesn't, like I said, he has 26.5 million as of July 16th. That's more than Bernie Sanders, Biden, Elizabeth Warren. So, and he has, by the way, not only negative press, I mean, the intelligence community under President Obama and corrupt intelligence officials tried to frame and set him up. Everything bad that takes place is his fault. And he's still doing well in the polls, relatively, and he's still outraising anyone in the Democratic field. Why it matters: President Trump raised more money than any other candidate for a second straight quarter, according to fundraising reports filed Monday with the FEC. So, why is this important? It's important, number one, because they tried to go after Trump donors. It didn't work. He raised even more money in the Hamptons than, and the Hamptons, mostly liberal, which is hilarious. You're seeing now an emphasis, or you're seeing now people not really caring about the whole moral panic kind of hysteria on the left. We got to boycott this. You got to boycott this. It's linked to Trump. Nobody cares because people have made up their mind already if they're going to vote for Trump or if they're not going to vote Democrat. Democrats aren't winning anyone over anymore. Well, they never really had. They never really have won anyone over. It was more like, okay, he might have worked with Russia. Now that is complete nonsense, the people who were kind of on the fence, well, gosh, I don't know, maybe he did work with Russia, which would be bad. I mean, why would you want anyone doing that? It was complete nonsense. But if you look at the fundraising in 2016, so the interesting thing is that he's still raising money. It doesn't matter the negative press. It doesn't matter that that every single publication, almost every single cable station, even Fox News is against him. You have Shepard Smith and Chris Wallace always as the two wet blankets or wet noodles or whatever. They're always trying to go after him. It still doesn't. My point is, it still doesn't. It still doesn't affect. It still doesn't affect Trump. But this is really interesting. I want to just one reason that Trump is going to easily outspend anybody on that debate stage except Clinton. So when Clinton comes in, I think she'll raise $2 billion. She'll have to, because Trump is on his way to $1 billion 2020. So let's just see here. There's an Open Secrets article. Did Clinton's state-by-state fundraising mirror election results? So she outspent Trump by a great margin, but she spent $140 million in Florida. $140 million in Florida. Trump spent a little over $6 million in Florida. Okay? And in TV ads. And that's from super PACs and everything else. And it still didn't work out. So, okay, so let's see. Florida, Clinton spent TV ads. Clinton slated to spend 53 times as much as Trump on Florida TV ads. 53 times as much. A whopping 95% of all campaign television ad spending scheduled between today and Election Day, more than $143 million worth, comes from Clinton's team. 95% of all television ads. 95% in Florida. Team Clinton will spend $143.2 million. This is 2016 on television ads, versus only $6.8 million for Trump team. So, and then in Florida, Clinton is spending $36.6 million versus just under $700,000 for Trump. This is really interesting. The difference continues in Ohio. $20 million in Ohio versus $1.8 million. Pennsylvania, $18.8 million versus $1.5 million. Okay, in North Carolina, they say, oh, well, we're going to swing that state. It's $14.3 million versus $1.3 million. Trump just had to show up. He just had to get out of bed, fall out of bed, and he just won. He didn't even have to spend any money. This is a really interesting article. Hillary Clinton is slated to spend 53 times as much as Donald Trump on Florida TV ads, by Ryan Strike, September 20th, 2016. I mean, you got to hear this again. This is awesome. So they have no chance. In Florida, Clinton is spending so this is directly from her campaign, $36.6 million. So I guess the super PACs and everybody around her spent $140 million on TV ads. But in Florida, Clinton is spending $36.6 million versus under $700,000 for Trump. He spent under $700,000. I can't believe this. The difference in Ohio, $20.9 million versus $1.8 million for Trump. I mean, she outspent him 10 to 1. Pennsylvania, $18.8 million versus $1.5 million. I mean, he won Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, and she outspent him by a tremendous margin. It's just unbelievable. The issue here is that the issue here is that Democrats have no message. They had no message in 2016 other than you're deplorable if you vote for Trump and you're morally virtuous if you vote for Clinton. They had no message. The average American has no reason to vote Democrat. No reason. I mean, Democrats are going to disarm you without guaranteeing that a criminal will purchase the firearm they ban, which criminals do, most crimes with a gun are committed with illegally obtained firearms. So the 5 cities with the most gun control: Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, L.A., and on H.A. Goodman's other channel. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. That's a huge, 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 really important segment on what's going on. And I just explain threats to this country that media is they're not talking about. But we can go on forever. Give me your thoughts below. And what they're trying to do is say, oh, well, now let's focus on his donors. Well, go ahead. People are tired. They're tired of being looked down upon by a Democratic Party that just yells racist at the top of its lungs and tries to pin everything on Trump, and then just continually gets egg on their face. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. Trump is on pace to easily surpass everyone. We know that they have to outspend Trump 2-1 because they're not going to win in a great economy. And if they didn't win by outspending him by an exponential margin in Florida and other states in 2016, and they have no chance to even match him, much less outspend him 2-1. If they don't pick Clinton, they'll get steamrolled. It'll be a landslide with Biden. And they already cheated Bernie, so that pretty much shows you that they're not going to let Bernie or Elizabeth Warren anywhere near the White House or the Democratic nomination. And Clinton is going to run again, primarily because of the fundraising. Democrats have to they have to outspend Trump 2-1. All they do is yell Russia, yell racist. They're the ones who presided over the destruction of Libya. They're the ones who, we can go on forever. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. President Trump is on his way to easily defeating everyone in the fundraising race except Clinton, who will eventually run. She'll probably outspend him, maybe close to 2-1, who knows. But if it's not well over 2-1, there's no chance she wins. And Clinton will lose again in the 2020 election to Trump. And I wrote about that in 2017. Thank you so much.